Forrest Moss ready to receive as the Giants have won the toss, and we will find out right away. Eli Manning is in the starting lineup. Sebastian Janikowski kicks it, and this is Moss from the 3 to the 20, and he is wrapped up as he crossed the 20 to about the 23-yard line. And here comes Eli Manning, and he's going to throw. With time, throws over the middle across the 30-yard line, and that pass is complete.
Well, what everybody wanted to see right off the bat was Manning drop back from under center, where you really have to plant that right foot. Kevin Gilbride, Tom Coughlin got that out of the way early. First play.
2nd and 1 after the 9-yard pickup, and here's Brandon Jacobs. His first carry has a first down and more across the 40 and out of bounds at about the 41-yard line. This is Brandon Jacobs left side after a gain of about a couple, stopped by Tyvon Branch coming up from his safety position. There's Tom Coughlin. Cool, calm, and composed when we talked to him yesterday morning, as usual.
And do you ever sit down with Tom Coughlin where he doesn't bring up his grandkids? No. Very few grandfathers in this country are as smitten as Uncle Tom there. Old Grandpa, he is, I'm telling you, he loves those kids.
2nd and 7. Manning throwing off the hands of the intended receiver, Steve Smith. Smith, the leading receiver in the National Football League, starting the day.
And hard to have a better start to a season, the first quarter of the season, that Steve Smith has had with 34 receptions. He makes his break and then he spins to the outside. He's expecting the ball to his outside shoulder, and it comes back to the inside shoulder. That ball from Eli was more towards the defender, Branch, than he really wanted. That ball to the outside would have been a completion.
3rd and 7. And a little movement up front. Gerard Warren across the line. Our referee today is John Perry.
Encroachment on the defense, number 61. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
When a quarterback uses the voice inflection like that, it's called a hard count. Some are better than others, and Eli Manning is very, very good. I think you could be in the upper deck here at Giants Stadium and have heard him bark that signal that got Gerard Warren to go off sides.
So now a 3rd and 2. Manning with time again, crossing pattern. Steve Smith inside the 45, loose football, and it is going to be, is it ruled down or is it ruled a fumble?
The official's pointing to the ground, saying it's down
at the 43-yard line.
That's about as subtle as an official can be in pointing down. I think the crowd might have appreciated a little more of an emphatic gesture, and he is down. Steve Smith had complete control of the football on his way to the turf.
So the Giants have moved to the Oakland 43. Manning again from the shotgun outside, and this one is pulled in by Travis Beckham, the rookie tight end out of Wisconsin.
And Beckham did a great job of elevating for a high throw from Eli Manning. He's got single coverage against the linebacker to that side, Thomas Howard. But look at that ball. He gets up there and brings it down. That is not exactly a tight spiral from Eli. But again, keep in mind, he has had virtually no practice this week throwing at full speed.
On 1st down, here's Brandon Jacobs, and Jacobs comes into a stone wall just short of the 30-yard line. There's Tom Cable in his 2nd season as the head coach of the Oakland Raiders, and as you mentioned, Dan, some things hanging over his head.
Well, it's been a tough season so far. The Raiders, a very disappointing start. They are coming into a brutal stretch of their schedule. They hope to get off to a better than a 1-3 start, because they They're looking at trying to climb out of a good-sized hole.
On second down, Brandon Jacobs doesn't find any running room, makes it to the 30, but Thomas Howard met him head on.
And I know at first, watching that injury, everyone was worried that it might have been an Achilles tendon injury, the way he went down.
Here's a 3rd and 8 for Manning. Manning across the middle, and that's incomplete. The penalty marker flies in. Pass intended for Smith. Stanford Rout was covering.
Pass interference. Number 26, defense. Grabbing the jersey. Automatic first down at the spot of the foul.
Well, you can see man coverage, and this is what the Raiders play 90% of the time, if not more. The arms on there early. John Perry, the official, said he grabbed the jersey when Smith made his break. I've seen a lot worse that didn't get flagged.
Actually grabbed for the jersey and missed it.
Yeah, I've seen a lot worse that didn't draw a flag.
First down for the Giants now at the Oakland 19. Manning, near side. That's complete to Jacobs out of the backfield, and he's out of bounds, just short of the 10-yard line. So a pickup of 8, it'll be 2nd and 2. And a relentless downfield drive by the Giants on the opening possession as Jamarcus Russell sits and waits his turn. Red zone offense for the New York Giants. Last in the NFL.
That is really a surprise. With the kind of a veteran unit that they have, that's a shock.
Jacobs, big hole up the middle, inside the 5-yard line. It'll be 1st and goal.
Now, one of the weapons that Eli Manning doesn't have at his disposal down here is tight end Kevin Boss. But again, look at that job of blocking by the guys up front. This extremely talented offensive line and a running back who's big enough to actually play on that offensive line. It's quite a combo. Darcy Johnson there is playing today instead of Boss.
11th play of this drive with a stutter step at the line of scrimmage and into the 2-yard line. Jacobs with 15 rushing touchdowns on the season a year ago.
You know you're playing behind a good offensive line when you're able to make that stutter step and that change of direction. A lot of times you have to come to a complete stop. Well, someone comes off a block and gets a stick right there. And that time Jacobs was able to slide over a hole, and yet no one got any penetration on that offensive line at all.
Now, without Kevin Boss active today, number 65, Will Beatty, is going to spend some time at tight end. He is checked in as an eligible receiver here on 2nd and goal. Jacobs. At the goal line, and the whistle blows before he reaches it. He marked at about the 1.
Brandon Jacobs has always run high. He does, you know, he's a very tall running back at 6'4", and it's hard for him to get his pad level down. Well, pad level is so critical here at the goal line. And he ends up taking a lot of hits to the body. Down here on the goal line as a running back, it really is an advantage to be more like 5'10".
This has been a 7-minute, 76-yard drive so far. Jacobs. And held up at the goal line again. Gerard Warren led the way for the Raiders.
Well, that's a great job that time by the Raiders of coming from the backside. Take a look at Gerard Warren. He just gets inside of Seibert, and he gets in there and makes that play. Keep in mind, Gerard Warren was the 3rd pick in the draft when he was originally taken by the Browns.
And the Giants are going to go for it on 4th and goal from the 1. Ahmad Bradshaw off the bench to replace Brandon Jacobs. So it's Bradshaw and Madison Hedgecock in the backfield on 4th and goal. Bradshaw. Touchdown.
Well, that decision to go for it on 4th down is made a lot easier when, if you don't make it, you know you're turning it over to the #1 defense in the league to go against the worst offense in the league. Pretty much a no-brainer for Tom Coughlin to go for it on 4th and less than a yard.
Lawrence Tynes, the leading scorer in the National Football League, for the extra point, and it is perfect. Well, Eli Manning and company standing there next to backup quarterback David Carr. 8-minute drive, 14 plays, and the last 5 were carries on the ground. The final yard by Ahmad Bradshaw, and the Giants kick it away. This one bounces at 10. Jonathan Holland picks it up and doesn't make it back to the 20-yard line before he's swarmed under. Giants with a 7-0 lead on an opening drive that took 8 minutes and 3 seconds off the clock. And Jamarcus Russell at the controls. The handoff is to Michael Bush, and Bush bursts across the 20 to about the 20, close to the 25-yard line.
By the way, that's right, everybody. Greg did not misspeak.
And whistle blows.
Well, the Giants were all screaming that there was a false start on the Raiders' offensive line.
False start. Number 72, offense. 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
Eric Pears. And things, say right at the outset, things are tough enough for these Oakland Raiders without giving themselves extra problems to deal with.
No, they got a good positive run on 1st down. Actually, could have been even bigger. Bush kind of tripped and stumbled over his own player. But you're right, penalties on the road against a good team, unacceptable.
Russell throwing outside, and that one is complete. And Lewis Murphy. Russell under pressure, escapes, throws over the middle. Oh, what a catch! And drops near the 50-yard line. Todd Watkins, the intended receiver, and C.C. Brown was covering.
Well, the pressure is going to come in on the back side here, coming from your left. Umanura comes right around the corner. Zach Miller, the tight end, actually holds him and gets away with it. That is a heck of an attempt at a ball that was behind him. Watkins almost able to pull that in, but again, that pass was a bit inaccurate.
Here is one of the great punters of all time, Shane Leckler. Booms this one, Sonoris Moss at his own 18-yard line. Shakes 2 tacklers, but not the 3rd. Welcome back to Giants Stadium, everyone. Giants will put it in play at their own 21-yard line. Ahmad Bradshaw is in the backfield, and at the end of the last series, which ended in a touchdown, the Giants were looking at Brandon Jacobs on the bench. Play fake. Eli Manning going deep down the near sideline. It is caught inside the 40-yard line. What a throw and what a catch by Steve Smith.
Perfection on a lot of different levels. It started off with tremendous fake and protection, a nice little stutter and go route by Steve Smith, but a good job by Chris Johnson of staying with him. It's just an absolutely perfect pass from Eli Manning and a good job of focusing on the football. You just can't possibly do it any better than that. I know he ended up on his back, but Manning had good protection and plenty of time to step into that throw.
This is Bradshaw. Bradshaw, 25, 20, inside the 20-yard line to the 19. A 43-yard pickup through the air, and now a 17-yard gain on the ground as Brandon Jacobs looks on from the sideline.
Well, he's got his helmet on and his chin strap buckled up, so he looks like he's ready to go in.
But still Ahmad Bradshaw, the running back, behind Hedgecock, who's behind Manning. 1st down. Bradshaw cuts it back to the end zone. Touchdown Giants.
It's unusual to see a 20-yard touchdown run without the runner being touched. Not only was Ahmad Bradshaw not touched, I'm not sure that a Raider ever got within 3 or 4 feet of him on that touchdown run. Talk about well blocked, Greg.
3 plays, 79 yards in just over a minute and a half. Bradshaw registered his second rushing touchdown of the day. Tynes for the extra point.
And an absolutely horrific start for the Raiders.
Well, once again, it's a beautiful day here in New York for that man, Tom Coughlin. The Giants, 17 plays to 3, 940 to 205 in time of possession. And for Tom Cable, not exactly the kind of start you want to get off to in any game, let alone on the road. This is Jonathan Holland from the 2-yard line. And doesn't quite reach the 20. Jonathan Goff again. Jamarcus Russell with time throws, and that one came up about 5 yards shy of his intended receiver, Darius Hayward-Bay.
Well, the New York offense has been making a few big plays in their Week 2 win against the Cowboys. That's Mario Manningham with a 49-yarder. And then last week, this was Eli Manning's last pass. But Hakeem Nicks took it for the touchdown, and then that just dropped right into the hands of Steve Smith. Eli Manning could not have thrown it any better. And speaking of throwing, that last one from Russell couldn't have been any worse.
A handoff from Michael Bush, and Bush spins his way to about the 23.
And Tom Cable, he's the head coach, but he's also calling the plays. He spent this week working a lot with his offensive line, which has had a major reshuffling. But again, now down 14-0. You've been struggling offensively, and you're going up against the #1 rated defense in the National Football League on the road. It just doesn't get any worse.
3rd and 7. Russell slides, throws. That was complete to the tight end, Zach Miller. That's going to be short of a first down by about 2 yards. And the punting unit will come on, and that means Shane Lechler again.
And you know what's happening right now? Every member of the Raider defense is going, oh, great. Here we go, right back out. 3 and out. We don't get any help at all.
How about the way Shane Lechler has been kicking the ball, not just this season, his entire career, but he has a 70-yard punt and 4 60-yard punts this season.
He's so far and away the best punter in the league. I'm not sure if anyone's number 2. You might just go right to number 3.
Oh, look at this one. This is Moss at the 12. And he goes down, and we get a penalty marker down, and that could be against the Giants. Kevin Dockery, number 35.
During the return, illegal block in the back. Number 35, half the distance to the goal. 1st and 10, New York Giants.
So that'll back the Giants up. Ahmad Bradshaw still the running back. And he gets the handoff. 10, 20. Out to the 30-yard line. That's getting out of a hole in a hurry.
Again, outstanding blocking by the Giants. Working to their offensive left. Here comes Seibert around the corner. A great block at the point of attack by Darcy Johnson, the tight end. And then it's just missed tackles, sloppy tackling, and Ahmad Bradshaw's hard running. The Raiders right now are in a bad spot. They have got to make a stand.
Bradshaw, 4 carries for 61 yards.
Personal foul, number 67, New York. The down will count, which makes it 2nd down, 15-yard penalty.
That penalty is on Kareem McKenzie, the right tackle.
Don't tell Tom Coughlin that they're up 14-0. Personal fouls are penalties that are very controllable. It's usually a loss of discipline, And if anything pushes Tom Coughlin over the edge, it's a loss of discipline.
Certainly one of the first topics of conversation with Tom Coughlin was any danger of taking his team lightly, and every one of his players that we talked to said focus was the word of the week.
And they were confident that they weren't taking the Raiders lightly, and certainly as we come to the end of the first quarter, they've demonstrated that.
Brandon Jacobs back into the lineup. He's in the slot on the near side. Manning throws, and that's incomplete. Pass intended for Darcy Johnson stops the clock with 10 seconds to play here in the first quarter.
Well, that penalty on McKenzie could really be a boost for these Raiders if they're able to keep the Giants from converting here on 3rd and forever. Because they were on roller skates getting pushed out of there with Bradshaw's running and the Giants blocking.
Brandon Jacobs to the sideline. Bradshaw back in on 3rd and 24. Play clock is down to 5, down to 3, and they get the snap off. Manning sets up the screen with blockers. Bradshaw to the 20, to the 25, outside. Asamoah trying to track him down. Cuts it back into the 30-yard line. Stanford route finally made the stop after a 55-yard pickup. You see Ricky Brown being helped on the sideline.
And he's one of the reasons. His injury is maybe the main reason that became such a big play. We'll take a look at it after this play, but he had the coverage responsibilities on that screen, and he just popped something and he went down.
Brandon Jacobs back into the backfield. First down, Giants at the Oakland 30. Manning to throw. Gonna go for the end zone. Touchdown, Mario Manningham.
Well, Chris Johnson, number 37, has the misfortune of being the corner who is opposite of Asamoah, which means he gets the majority of work. Mario Manningham, just a soft corner pattern, and Johnson, I don't know if he was expecting safety help from Hiram Eugene, but he just kind of let him go. I'm a bit mystified as to Johnson. He had decent coverage on Manningham, and then
Manningham just drifted in behind him.
Lets him run right to the corner.
Well, the last 2 times the Giants have had the football, they've gone 79 yards in a minute 37, 94 yards in a minute 34. Justin Fargas is the running back now in the backfield. And that pass is down at the feet of Darius Hayward. Let's go back a couple of plays.
Well, yeah, because this is where a player gets injured, and that's Ricky Brown. He's got the coverage here on Bradshaw, but you see right there him hopping. He's already injured himself. If he's healthy, he probably makes that play, and the Giants don't convert on 3rd and 23 as easily as they did. And of course, the next play was a touchdown, and unfortunately Ricky Brown was being helped to the Raiders locker room, unable to put any pressure on that foot whatsoever.
Doesn't look like he'll be coming back anytime soon either. The handoff to Justin Fargas goes nowhere. What a beautiful picture on a beautiful day. Welcome back, everyone. Down on the field, that's Mario Henderson walking off under his own power. He's been replaced at left tackle by Khalif Barnes, the 5th-year vet out of the University of Washington.
And keep in mind, this is an offensive line that only had 2 players in their proper positions, and one of them was Henderson. So now with Khalif Barnes replacing him at left tackle, Greg, the only guy who's really in his original spot is Cooper Carlisle, the right guard.
Say head coach Tom Cable is very close to having to suit up the former lineman. Bush and Fargas in the backfield. Russell in the shotgun on 3rd and 10. Under pressure, lost the ball. It's on the ground and covered by the Giants. Justin Tuck grabbed the loose football.
Terrell Thomas came on the blitz, and he came to the right side of Jamarcus Russell, and how he doesn't see him, I don't know. Russell's right-handed. He's looking to the left. Never, ever thinks to even glance to his right as to what's going on. Just totally locked in on a receiver on the left-hand side. No pocket presence at all, not to feel that blitz coming right in between right guard and right tackle. And you'd think, can it possibly get worse for the Raiders? And apparently it can.
First down from the 13-yard line. Jacobs to the 10. Notice, and we talked to Nnamdi Asomugha about this, no one throws to his side of the field, man.
No, they don't, and that's why Chris Johnson on the other side gets so much work. I'm still going back to that, to Jamarcus Russell in the Raiders' pocket there, not looking, not swiveling his head at all, just tunnel vision to that left side, to be that unaware of a blitz coming from the right. Man.
Second and 7, the give is to Bradshaw. And Bradshaw hit at the 10, spins forward to the 9. Tyvon Branch made the stop, and there is Jamarcus Russell.
And it's a good thing Tyvon Branch did make that stop, because Bradshaw was about to leave through the back door on his way to the end zone. Branch was the only Raider that came back and closed that door.
Meanwhile, Ahmad Bradshaw with 118 total yards already here today. 3rd and 6. The Giants spread the field. Manning, end zone, touchdown. Hakeem Nicks on the receiving end. Nicks with his second touchdown catch in 2 weeks. And it's a 4-touchdown lead for New York.
Straight 4-man rush, good blocking, but it's just a timing pattern. Gets it right over the outstretched hands of Howard, the linebacker underneath, and in front of the second level of coverage. And this, at the risk of piling on, I'm not going to say anything.
That kick is good. There's a collection of Giants fans. I think that's what we can say about that. Here's Jonathan Holland, 2 steps deep into the end zone. To the 15, and he's not going to make it to the 20.
Probably the best 4-man pass rush, not probably, the best 4-man pass rush in football, who now can totally disregard the run.
Justin Fargas will give it a try, and he gets out of the 20. Here's Justin Fargas bursting out to the 25-yard line.
Punt, fumble, missed passes, a penalty or 2 in there. Not much to feel good about for the guys in the silver and white.
And Jamarcus Russell looking at a 3rd and 3. Fargas in the backfield, Murphy in motion. On the run, going to run for the first down, and is dropped at about the 27.
At first glance, it didn't seem like he got there.
No, it didn't. Where's the spot going to be? It looks like it's going to be short of a first down.
Now that's a big hunk of quarterback coming out there around the corner. 6'6", 275.
We were talking with Justin Tuck yesterday, and I asked him if he'd gone up against a quarterback that big, and he said, he's bigger than I am.
Well, here comes Jamarcus Russell. Antonio Pierce is going to be coming in there from the right, and then Michael Johnson comes up and gets a really good hit and stopped Russell's momentum, and they're going to punt it away.
Shane Leckler a chance to show off his leg again. 4th and 1. Moss at the 18. across the 30 out to about the 33 or the 34-yard line. Welcome back to Giant Stadium along with Dan DIERDOFF and the rest of our CBS Sports crew. Greg Gumbel. 10-10 to play in the first half. Giants with the ball in a 28-0 lead from their own 34-yard line. It has been a banner first half for the Giants. Brandon Jacobs running room across the 45 to the 46 and a first down.
It's all blue all the way so far. 4 for 4.
Here's Brandon Jacobs looking for running room on the right side and manages maybe to get a yard out of it. Under 9 minutes to play here in the first half. 2nd and 9 for Manning. Going to give it to Brandon Jacobs again. And this time he's hauled down for about a 1 or 2 yard loss by John Alston, who's replaced Ricky Brown at the linebacker position.
The entire Oakland offense has contributed 18 yards. They're being outdone by 4 separate members of the Giants. We could go on and on like this. Tom Cable struggling to find anything he can hang his hat on offensively. They haven't even been close to looking like they could move the ball against New York.
3rd and 10. Going to give it to Jacobs. Jacobs across midfield and just into Oakland territory, but that will force the punt.
Geez, I'm surprised the crowd isn't booing.
Well, they are a little bit.
Yeah. That's
harsh.
That's being a little spoiled. 4 drives, 4 touchdowns. Oh my gosh, a punt.
Johnny Lee Higgins goes deep.
The sky is falling.
For the kick to come from Jeff Fiegels. Playing in his 341st game. That's number 3 all-time in NFL annals. Angles for the sideline, and it sails out of bounds. Russell to throw. Over the middle, has his man over the midfield mark, and that's Zach Miller with the catch to the 40-yard line and a first down. Biggest gain of the day for the Raiders at 21 yards.
And that really is what Jamarcus Russell does best. Play action and then running patterns downfield that don't involve 4 and 5 receivers. A 2-receiver pattern is really perfect for Russell. It allows him to just concentrate on 1 or 2 guys. That's straight from Tom Cable as head coach.
First down of the day for the Raiders. Russell to throw again. Gonna throw it deep down the middle. Has a man open. Oh, what a play. What a play by Terrell Thomas. Louis Murphy had him beaten by a step.
And if somehow Jamarcus Russell is able to put a little more air under that ball, that would have been an Oakland touchdown. Because you're right, Murphy is behind Thomas. But both of them had to slow down and wait for the football, and that enabled Thomas to make a play on it. Tell you right now, folks, Louis Murphy, number 18, you better keep an eye on him. He's a rookie with a huge upside.
On the ground, Michael Bush, and Bush close to midfield and about a yard short of a first down.
Let's take a look at Justin Tuck, number 91. He's unblocked, but closing in from the backside. Good hustle. Good hustle and a nice job of actually making the tackle, but at the same time going in there trying to strip the football.
3rd and 1.
What a complete player he's become, Greg.
Let's give it to Bush. Penalty marker flies as he comes up short. Let's check the penalty. This is going to go against the Raiders.
Holding, number 64, offense. That penalty's been declined. Result of the play, 4th down.
And Tom Cable's offense is still on the field. Why not? Line of scrimmage is the 48. They need the midfield stripe for a first down. Bush, the lone back behind Jamarcus Russell. He'll throw for it. On the move, gonna run. And makes the first down with a yard to spare.
Well, good job there by Jamarcus Russell. Again, he only needs 2 yards to get the first down, and play action didn't buy him the open receiver he was hoping for, but put him on the move outside. And then go ahead, use your size to your advantage. No hook slide, put the shoulder down and go for it.
So first down from the 49-yard line now. They gave this to Bush.
And this is by far and away the most life that we've seen from Oakland's offense. Just let's be realistic. I don't think this game is winnable for Oakland, but at least to salvage some pride and feel good about something, even if you only got a field goal before halftime, it's just a little thing, but at least it's something.
2nd and 7. You know, we talked to Michael Bush yesterday and we said, how long do you think you'll go? He says, I think I'm going to go until I get tired.
Yeah, he doesn't want to come out. It was kind of fun talking to Michael Bush, where he talked about how much he loves the game, how he plays it. He said, ever since I was a little kid, I just like everything about it. I like the practice. I like the camaraderie. I like the locker room. And you're right, he will not come out because he's tired. They'll have to get the hook to get him off the field.
At 6'1", 245. Asked him about his blitz pickups. He says, I love blitz pickup because I'm just as big and strong as they are. 3rd and 6. Russell down at his own 48-yard line, courtesy of Michael Johnson.
And that's a good job by Bill Sheridan, the defensive coordinator. We know what kind of pass rush the Giants get from that front four. And when they bring added pressure, either with a safety or a linebacker, it's lethal.
2nd sack of Russell today. Leckler to punt. His best, but he gets the bounce. It's off of Moss's hands, a loose ball, and the Raiders say they have it, and they do. Jonathan Holland on the recovery.
And the first Giant mistake of the day. Sonoris Moss, fooled by the bounce of the ball. He was going to try to field it. It hopped up and hit him right in the helmet. He was going to try to save a few yards.
The receivers were the first to touch the ball. Oakland recovered the ball. 1st and 10, Oakland.
And it's a first down at the Giant 14-yard line. A chance for the Raiders to put some points on the board. This is just no gain. Big Barry Cofield, 4th-year defensive tackle out of Northwestern.
And I suspect that this is where we're going to see the New York defense really stiffen. These guys, they like that little thing going on right up there. They like that 0. They're going to try really hard to maintain it. At least force them to try to kick a field goal.
Russell throws behind his intended receiver inside the 5, and a penalty marker is down. Lewis Murphy, the intended receiver, and C.C. Brown was covering.
Pass interference, number 41 defense. Automatic first down at the spot of the foul.
It'll be 1st and goal for Oakland.
Well, let's take a look at this again. Murphy's a big guy at 6'2", and it's man coverage. But again, the ball back behind Murphy. and he reacted to it, and Brown did not. Brown kept right on running, which ran him right through Murphy.
The Raider offense, no touchdowns over the last 9 quarters. Fargas, left side. Now. Loose ball, picked up, whistle blew.
The officials were blowing the whistle and waving their arms,
And they're still, the whistle blew back here, even though John Perry is signaling touchdown at the other end, but most of the players are back down here at the 10-yard line.
The ruling on the field was down by contact prior to the loose ball.
Let's go back and look at it.
All right, let's go back and take a peek at this. Justin Fargas, he gets stood up. So when you get stood up, now comes the strip. Everybody's going for the football, and it gets ripped out before he goes down. Remember now, this is subject to review, especially if the ball ends up right away in the hands of a New York Giant, and it certainly does.
But what we can't tell from that is when the whistle blew.
No, we cannot.
The challenge flag has been thrown by Tom Coughlin.
Right. They're going to have to say that they blew the play dead because of forward progress.
The crowd reacted to what you saw, the ball being ripped out before the runner was down.
If they're saying that they stopped it and blew the whistle because his forward progress was over.
The ruling on the field was that forward progress
There you go.
was ruled. Therefore, this play is not reviewable. It will be Oakland's ball due to the forward progress being ruled.
That's the one part that keeps it from being reviewable, is if they rule forward progress, because there's no doubt that he wasn't on the ground. And that was a very fortunate call for the Raiders.
Let's go back and watch this play again and listen for the whistle. Didn't hear a whistle beforehand.
I could hear whistles afterwards. I could hear lots of whistles
Timeout, New
blowing
York.
after the fact.
The team's first 30-second timeout.
Meanwhile, the Giants burn their first of 3 timeouts.
Why don't we try to listen to that one more time, and we'll see if we can enhance it and try to pick up a whistle.
Well, I still didn't hear a whistle before the ball came out.
Well, the only thing I can tell from the video that we're looking at, that's very fortunate for the Raiders that that whistle blew. You could see he was pointing down, but that's very fortunate. I've seen that a lot where it's a fumble.
Here's Michael Bush straight ahead for the touchdown. For the first time in a long time, the Raiders find the end zone.
And good for the Raiders, good for them. Talk about something that was desperately needed. And they got a good surge, a good hole, and they finished it off. Tom Coughlin's not the least bit happy about this.
Sebastian Janikowski for the extra point. Kicks a line drive through the uprights. 2:19 to play in the first half. The Giants lead at 28-7.
Just out of the straight I formation, a good lead block from the fullback. The offensive line give Bush a nice little crease. Luke Lawton, the fullback, did a nice job of leading up through there. And Sonoris Moss set that all up with the miscue on the punt return by being surprised by the bounce of the ball as it hit him right in the helmet.
That is Oakland's 4th touchdown of the season. By comparison, Giants have scored 4 touchdowns today.
Well, when you only have to go 15 yards, that's a plus. You got to take advantage of it, and the Raiders did.
So Moss will be back for the kickoff as the Raiders find the scoreboard as we come up on the 2-minute warning. Up until that point, it had been a pretty horrible trip to New York for the Oakland Raiders.
Still wouldn't call it peachy.
Not yet. Bouncing at the 15-yard line and covered just barely by Moss. And now a late penalty marker. John Perry talking it over with his officials.
After the play, personal foul, number 71. Half the distance, 1st and 10.
Eli Manning's numbers on the day, that 158.3 is considered a perfect rating. How you can be perfect with 2 incompletions is beyond me, but there are more important things to worry about. David Carr looking at a 2nd and 4. Give it to Ahmad Bradshaw, right side, 1st down and then some, across the 30 to the 32-yard line. And the clock continues to move, 1:50 to play in the first half.
Oh, and Bradshaw, he's hurt as he heads to the Giants sideline. He's kind of clutching at his lower back there on the left side, kidney area.
Brandon Jacobs replaces him. Carr, quick pass, that's complete to Steve Smith, and Smith out of bounds midfield.
That's an awkward way to go down, and he's on the ground there on the other side of the bench as the Giants training staff works on him.
That would be a big loss for this Giants team. Carr on 1st down. On the move to the 45. Trevor Scott with the tackle.
Greg, would you not agree with me that when we talked to David Carr, he wants Eli to be healthy, but he was very much looking forward to a chance to take this little Ferrari out for a test drive.
Not only that, David Carr looks around the league and goes, you know, I can play there, I can play there, I can play there. He's going to go deep down the near sideline. It is caught. Was he inbounds? No, incomplete, out of bounds. Hakeem Nicks on the receiving end.
Boy, and this guy is a rookie, but he's already learning how to get separation, whether it's legal or he's got that right arm out there. Take a look at this. Nick's running down the sideline. Look at him fight out there with the right arm. He's working with Asamoah.
Left foot down, right foot out.
Look at that. They've got a hold of each other right there. He just ran out of field, but give a lot of credit to Nicks for the way he focused on that ball.
And we get a penalty marker and delay of game.
Delay of game. Offense. 5-yard penalty.
Take a look at this. His left foot will be inbounds. The right foot comes down out of bounds.
See, possession isn't until there, and that really wasn't even close. By the time he gained possession, the right foot was well out of bounds.
And a rare throw to the side of Nnamdi Asomugha today.
And I guess now the Giants were successful in calling a timeout just prior to the back judge throwing the flag for delay. So a good spot from somebody on the Giants sideline for getting that timeout called in time.
So the line of scrimmage is the Oakland 45, and it's 3rd and 6. And the Giants with 1 timeout remaining. Carr incomplete. Far sideline. Manningham, the intended receiver.
Now they tried to go back shoulder on that one, and again David Carr's still got a live arm. Mario Manningham had kind of a tough week last week with a couple drops and a uncharacteristic bobble, but he got out of the gates pretty well today with a quick touchdown pass.
Johnny Lee Higgins standing inside his own 10 for the kick from Fiegels. Fiegels hangs it up high. Fair catch called for and made at about the 15-yard line.
Spreading it around, 7 different guys in on the receptions. And I think the Giants look at his day and say, wow, this couldn't have worked out any better.
Jamarcus Russell going to hand this one on. Well, hold on to it and throw it to Luke Lawton out of the backfield, and Lawton out to the 30-yard line. And quickly they call a timeout to stop the clock with 33 seconds to play. Good play fake by Russell. 33 seconds to play. Under pressure, he lost the football. It's on the ground, recovered by the Giants. OCU Manura covered it, and that time Jamarcus Russell had no chance.
Well, you have to have a couple different things to be a quarterback. All right, you get the fake, you're looking downfield, but you just don't see that coming in from the side. Justin Tuck, O.C. Manura, ball security so critical for a quarterback, and Jamarcus Russell just trying to look downfield, and you can see Justin Tuck, he's going for the football all the way.
Russell sacked for the 3rd time today, the 8th time in the last 2 games. And the Giants have 1 timeout and 27 seconds on the clock. Carr over the middle. Nice grab at the 15-yard line made by Darcy Johnson, the tight end. Carr wants to spike the football and stop the clock. And he does with 14 seconds to play.
I'll guarantee you right now, on the fun meter, David Carr's at a 10. He's getting a chance to play with this talented offensive team. Again, remember Darcy Johnson getting a lot of playing time today because Kevin Boss is inactive with the ankle injury that he sustained last week at Kansas City. That is a sweet catch.
Yard line. Carr, all kinds of time, throws out of bounds. 6 seconds to play. We talked to David Carr. We have a penalty marker down at the 10.
Personal foul, number 93 defense. Half the distance to the goal. First down, New York.
That's defensive tackle Tommy Kelly.
Well, let's see if we can find it. Look there at the bottom. Oh, well, there's Tommy Kelly, who does a left and then a right to the head of Sean O'Hara, the Giants center. Wasn't enough to hit him with the left, then he followed up with a right. Sean O'Hara, I can tell you this, he will get under your skin a little bit. He's one of those guys, but wow, out in the middle of open space like that, not smart at all by Kelly.
Lawrence Tynes has missed a couple of chip shots.
If I were Lawrence, I wouldn't miss this one.
He does not. And with 2 seconds on the clock, the Giants extend their lead 31-7. I was saying David Carr, when we were talking to him yesterday, Dan, he said he told himself all week long that he was going to start. And he says, if I don't, I don't. But if I do, I figure I'll be ready.
Well, the thing about Eli and talking to him, you know, we asked him, did you talk to Peyton about what's going on? He said, hey, you can't have a better big brother than what I have. And Eli said, you know, the streak is really important, but Peyton gave me some great advice. He said, look, the streak doesn't matter. The team you're playing doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is your foot. And are you able to protect yourself? Are you able to play the game at a high level? If that's the case, then play. If not, then don't play. Forget all the other stuff about, well, this is the Raiders, this is a game, you could easily sit out, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Peyton and Eli, they've got some bond. And that's, you know, that's quite a resource to have for an older brother, isn't it?
Could be worse.
Yeah. And when you look at those consecutive game streaks, you've got Brett Favre out there all by himself, but then it goes to Peyton, then it goes to Eli.
Jonathan Holland, the deep man for the Giants. This one squibbed along the ground and past Holland and into the end zone, and the clock doesn't start at all. So we'll get one snap. We have a penalty marker on the far side of the field.
Keep in mind, everybody, even though you touched the ball outside of the end zone, if the impetus of the ball carried it into the end zone, it's no big deal.
There is no foul for an illegal wedge, as the play was a touchback. There will be one play. 2 seconds remain since he never touched the ball.
Something that has not come up yet in any of the games that we've done, Dan, but the wedge is no longer legal.
Well, you're allowed to do a wedge as long as it's only 2 people.
It's not a full wedge. It's
right.
Kind of,
it's a half wedge.
It's a wedge.
It's a half a wedge. Yeah, you used to be able to line up 4 guys and go upfield, but in the interest of player safety, now only 2 people can get together and form a little mini wedge.
Soon Jamarcus Russell will take a knee here and go into the locker room. Nope, the give is to Bush. And that'll do it for the first half. Welcome back to Giant Stadium, everyone. 31-7 Giants in the lead. Greg Gumbel along with Dan DIERDOFF. Lawrence Taylor used to get the crowd going a little bit here.
I remember when he was a rookie and we played the Giants here. We've been watching him on tape, and then he came running out the tunnel, and my whole offensive line, we stood there and went, oh, I didn't realize he was that big, because on tape he looks like he's 6 feet 220, like a safety running around, and then you didn't realize he was 6'4", 250 until you saw him in person.
The Raiders could use an LT on their side today. It's 31-7. The Giants have pretty much had things all their own way, and it's really exacerbated the problems the Raiders have had all season long.
Really, and for the Giants, though, I think it's all about Eli Manning and the fact that he played well, doesn't appear to have any lingering effects of the plantar fasciitis and the injury to that. But again, it's a kind of an injury, you know, Greg, it's going to be here all season long. It's the type of thing, it's really tough to get it to go away. So it's going to be interesting to see. Every week, I think there's going to be a bit of an Eli watch, and his right foot.
And Eli, you know, he didn't show any problems with it.
No.
But then again, you can't say that he was really pushed a whole lot
Well,
today either.
He never had to run for a first down. He'd moved around the pocket okay, and I think it's just been a perfect day so far. He played well. He wasn't pressed that hard, and the Giants have a very comfortable lead. So
and as long as the as the Raiders don't press the Giants, I think we can probably count on David Carr the rest of the way.
I would suspect so.
Once again, this game brought to you in high definition here on CBS as we get set for the start of the second half, and the Giants will kick it away to the Raiders. Number 23, Jonathan Holland, is deep, as he has been much of the day. Bounces inside the 15 to Gary Russell, and Russell back across the 25 to about the 28 or 29 yard line. Look at some halftime numbers. Guess who they favor?
Well, that's an extraordinary number of yards for one half of football by the Giants to have 340. And you can see the Raiders got 7 points off of turnovers. That was the muffed punt by Sonoris Moss that gave the Raiders a field position start at the Giants' 15-yard line. That has been the lone bright spot for this for Al Davis's group from the Bay.
Well, Jamarcus Russell in the first half, 4 of 8 for 42 yards. And starts here from his own 29. He's going to throw. And hooks up, and that one falls short.
A really rocky first half for Jamarcus Russell. And again, keep in mind, coming into this game, his completion percentage only 39.8. By NFL standards, that's abysmal.
He's 4 for 9 so far today, and Justin Fargas doesn't get much on that carry, and it'll be 3rd and about 10.
And again, for the Giants defensively, they are statistically, in terms of yardage, the #1 team in the NFL coming into this game, giving up only 16 points a game, and they're so veteran. Antonio Pierce there provides such solid leadership at the middle linebacker position, but they're just solid on all 3 levels, even considering how much they are physically banged up.
3rd and 10. Russell under pressure, sets up the screen, misses Bush, and Bush spins forward to the 34. That'll be about 5 yards shy of a first down. And talking with Tom Cable, we asked him, Dan, a head coach looks for improvement week to week, and does he see it? He's adamant. He says, yes, he does see improvement. It's just the pieces aren't falling into place just yet.
No, he knew that, one, they can't compete in the NFL if their passing game doesn't improve. And their second biggest problem is special teams.
Leckler moves this one out. Moss from the 17. Cuts it back. And down at about the 34 and 35 yard line, courtesy of Trevor Scott. We have a penalty marker down.
On the tackle, personal foul. Number 91, horse collar type tackle. 15 yards from the end of the run. 1st and 10, New York. Timeout in the field.
Eli Manning. Questions all week long about him. Would he play? He started. He played most of the first half. It was 8 of 10 for 173 yards and 2 touchdowns, and is given away now to David Carr. Left side, running room for Ahmad Bradshaw, who has had running room all day long, and he is inside the 30 to the 28-yard line.
Wow, what a job of getting the edge on the Raiders defense. Take a look at this right here. Seibert comes around and does a great job of pinning the contain. Take a look at this. Kareem McKenzie gets a good pin block, then Seibert comes around, and no pressure from the outside at all. And that's because good blocking downfield by Dominic Hickson on Asamoah.
8 carries for 105 yards for Ahmad Bradshaw. Carr throws, and that was batted down at the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10.
Well, David Carr is going to be a free agent at the end of this season, and while he really likes the organization, and there's not much of a future backing up Eli Manning, a guy that plays week in and week out, and David Carr still wants to be a starter in this league. He's only 30 years old, and he wants another chance.
2nd and 10. This is Bradshaw again, and not much there as he's brought down at about the 28, maybe the 27.5-yard line. It was interesting, and it's easy to take an offensive line for granted unless you pay some attention to it, Dan. But David Carr is talking about there's such a sense of comfort working behind this line.
Well, that's because, keep in mind, when he was in Houston, when he sacked like 76 times his rookie year, and that's a career for a guy like Dan Marino. That's to have that happen in one season. So you're darn right. He realizes anyone who's quarterbacking the Giants that gets to operate behind those 5 guys is a lucky man.
3rd and 10. And timeout is called as the play clock was winding down. 3rd and 10. Carr going to go up the middle, and batted away, incomplete. Batted away by Thomas Howard, covering the tight end Darcy Johnson. And we have a penalty marker down.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, number 91 defense, 15-yard penalty with an automatic first down.
That's Trevor Scott's second penalty in a matter of minutes.
Yeah, Trevor Scott was called for the horse collar on the punt return. And there he comes in right there. It was pretty apparent that David Carr was no longer holding the football, and you just lower the shoulder and give him a pop. That's not smart football, especially on a situation like that where you give him the automatic first down.
So the line of scrimmage now the 15-yard line. First down for the Giants.
East Turbo! East Turbo!
Bradshaw. No gain at all.
Again, David Carr so thankful to be in the situation he's in now. It'd be perfect if only he was the starter.
And Bradshaw tried again on the right side for about 10.
Ooh, the ball came loose.
And Chris Snee covered it for the Giants.
That's my Bradshaw kind of shaking his right arm. He must have taken a real shot on it. Looks like he's trying to get some feeling back there.
You know, going back to David Carr, Dan, when he said, I look around the league and I feel like I could start for several other teams, we didn't argue with him.
No,
you can see that.
Oh, yeah. There are some quarterback challenged teams in the National Football League right now. And, you know, I'm not sure David Carr is going to be a Pro Bowler, but could he be a starter for other teams in this league right now? Absolutely.
From the shotgun, Carr running out of time, escapes trouble. On the move to the 10, to the 5. Touchdown. And there is David Carr, one happy camper, and Eli will be one of the first to congratulate him.
And at 30, David Carr showing that he still has a little pickup. I mean, he shows when he spins out of this. First of all, Gerard Warren has him a little bit, but right here when he makes that dash for the corner, a little reckless with the football, holding it out there in the right hand, but he felt secure in doing so. But he showed a pretty good burst.
Tynes for the extra point. It is good. David Carr on the left, his first rushing touchdown since November of the 06 season
in this stadium
against the Giants with Houston.
And he ought to give an assist to Steve Smith, who made a nice block on the goal line, letting him get in around the corner.
Here's Jonathan Holland. Oof! Hit hard at the 20 and forward to the 21 or 22. Dave Tollefson delivered a shot.
And Dave Tollefson was with the Raiders, and they released him, and he signed with the Giants a couple of years ago. Dave Tollefson has become a valuable part of the defensive line rotation, and as you can see, also a major contributor on special teams.
Let's get a little playing time as he stays in at defensive end.
You can see they're released by the Raiders after training camp.
Austin Fargas straight ahead, not much there. Learned how to spell it a couple of weeks ago.
Might have to start working on this Oakland offense.
Russell going to throw. Tollefson missed him. DeMarcus on the move, and he got hit from behind. That ball is loose. And picked up by Antonio Pierce.
It has been a while since I've seen a quarterback that just didn't seem to have any idea when someone is that close to him and about to make a play on the football.
Matthias Kiwanuka.
Jamarcus Russell trying to make something happen. The effort is there. He's fighting. And that time, the ball just came loose. Initially, it looked like Kiwanuka hit it. From that other angle, it looked like it came loose before Kiwanuka got there. Let's look at it right here. No, Kiwanuka does it. Yeah, it does. He does hit it. Boy, that was an optical illusion. From the one side, it looked like it came loose, but Kiwanuka definitely gets his right hand on it beforehand.
4th sack, 3rd fumble.
After reviewing the play has been confirmed. It was a fumble. Oakland has been charged with their first team timeout. 1st and 10 on the 19-yard line.
I don't know that the Raiders had anything to challenge there.
Under no circumstances could they have made the argument that that was an incomplete forward pass. His arm's still going backwards
without the football.
When the football comes out of his hand, doesn't matter whether Kiwanuka hit it or not. That's a fumble all the way and very obvious.
And it sets up the Giants just inside the Oakland 20-yard line. David Carr throws. That's complete to Darcy Johnson, the tight end.
After reviewing the play has been confirmed. It was a fumble. Oakland has been charged with their first team timeout. 1st and 10 on the 19-yard line.
I don't know that the Raiders had anything to challenge there.
Under no circumstances could they have made the argument that that was an incomplete forward pass. His arm's still going backwards
without the football.
When the football comes out of his hand, doesn't matter whether Kiwanuka hit it or not. That's a fumble all the way and very obvious.
And it sets up the Giants just inside the Oakland 20-yard line. David Carr throws. That's complete to Darcy Johnson, the tight end.
Ray Lewis, Adrian Peterson, Brett Favre, Joe Flacco. Wow.
2nd and 7. Here's Brandon Jacobs trying to get outside. He can't get there. He's wrapped up at the 16-yard line. 3rd and 7. Carr, short clock. That is to the 15, just inside the 15-yard line. Travis Beckham, the rookie tight end. And that'll bring Lawrence Tynes in the field goal unit on.
Again, though, you can see how good this Giants offensive line is, because David Carr just went from option A to option B to option C, finally dumped it off and still wasn't carried at all in the pocket.
Tynes will line this one up from the 23. It'll make it a 33-yard field goal attempt. And that is on its way and good. Well, we asked the question, Dan, of Tom Coughlin, if his team, was there any chance of them taking the Raiders lightly, and I think they came out and proved the point right off the bat here.
Well, every one of their players talked about focus. Tom drove home the message every day. That's what good teams do. They don't take a week off.
This is Gary Russell on the bounce at the goal line.
Oh!
To the 12 and no more. Jarris Wilkinson and Jonathan Goff. Goff has been so big on special teams today. Russell hands off to Michael Bush, and Bush out across the 15 to about the 18-yard line. 5th time today a Raiders drive has started inside their own 20-yard line. You said it earlier. Tom Cable told us special teams has been inconsistent at best.
Their return game has been poor. They have two of the best kickers in football in Leckler and Janikowski, but the other components of their kicking game are really substandard.
Here's Bush again. Across the 20 to about the 22, close to the 23-yard line.
Jamarcus Russell and the football can be easily separated.
And the results of the fumble have been a touchdown and 2 field goals. And that's a first down out to the 25-yard line, courtesy of Michael Bush.
Now, this pressure that Jamarcus Russell is facing, Greg, shouldn't come as that much of a surprise. On the one hand, we have the awesome pass rush of the Giants, but this offensive line is totally reshuffled in front of him. Robert Gallery, broken leg. He's going to still be out for a couple weeks. Cornell Green, the right tackle, with a calf injury. He's out. The center's at left guard. The left guard's at right tackle. On and on and on.
Russell under pressure and goes down. Justin Tuck.
Well, Tony Stewart, the tight end, tried to hold Justin Tuck. That has to really be frustrating. You try to rip a guy's jersey off and you still can't keep him from getting to the quarterback. Look at the very bottom. Swim move right there. He's got his jersey, and that still doesn't slow him down enough. That is such a mismatch. A tight end like Tony Stewart is not going to keep Justin Tuck from putting on a move like that and going after the quarterback.
Giants sacked Matt Castle 5 times a week ago. They've sacked Jamarcus Russell 5 times today. Justin Fargas gets it to the 20.
Darren McFadden is out for 4 weeks. He had a cartilage problem in his knee. So again, Tom Cable, his list of offensive weapons has been reduced. Javon Walker hasn't played yet this year after going on IR last year.
This Giant defense has been staunch against opponents with 3rd and more than 10. Russell sets up the screen. This is Fargas. Fargas to the 25, spinning to the 30. It'll still be about 5 yards shy of a first down.
There's Bill Sheridan, the Giants defensive coordinator, and taking over for Steve Spagnuolo, who is now the head coach of the Rams. He might ask for his old job back. But Bill Sheridan doing a good job here for the Giants.
So Leckler to kick yet again. Oh. Moss all the way back to the 10. Breaks free. 20. And out to the 25. Nice job on the return by Sonoris Boston. Happy as can be in the stands.
It's still here. Beautiful day. It's can't think of many places I'd rather be than sitting out there enjoying the sun, fresh air. Eli's enjoying it.
Having a good time.
Yeah, it's. Is he listening?
Pierce.
Is he listening to us or the coaches? What do you think? I'm going for the coaches.
I think so too. David Carr from his own 25. Brandon Jacobs getting nothing on the carry. On 2nd and 10. Here's Jacobs again. And Jacobs with a nice little move across the 30 out to the 33-yard line.
Well, both of these teams face tough schedules, but take a look at the New York Giants. Their opponent's record 25-14 based on their current record. And you can see, obviously, with Philadelphia, the Giants, and the Washington Redskins, that being in the NFC East means you're playing a whopper of a schedule. Raiders have no picnic either coming up.
That's only fair to the Giants. The Giants have pretty much cakewalked these last few weeks after opening with Washington and Dallas. They had Tampa Bay and then Kansas City. And the Giants have New Orleans coming up next. Here's Jacobs. Jacobs shapes the tackle, has the first down across the 35 to the 36-yard line.
And a lot of people, as Greg just mentioned, New Orleans next week, down in New Orleans. They thought that the Giants might be guilty of looking past the Raiders to that game. Then the NFC champion Cardinals, although their record 1-2 isn't reflective of that. But then the big grudge match with Philadelphia, the Chargers, Matt Ryan and the Falcons down the road. And that bye comes at a pretty good time right in the middle of November. That's about the prime time for a bye.
On first down, Jacobs again trying the right side. And you know, not that the Giants have been free from the injury bug. Tom Coughlin says practice has been a real issue with all the injuries they've had.
He's had a tough time just getting enough. You're right. He's worried about getting good looks. You know, Michael Boley had surgery this week. Kenny Phillips is on IR. Aaron Ross, the talented cornerback, he hasn't played yet this year with a hamstring. Kevin Dockery, another talented corner. He's only played one game coming in today.
And time winding down here at the third quarter. It has been a dream game for the New York Giants and a nightmare of a visit to the East Coast for the Oakland Raiders as we get to start the fourth quarter. Carr, sideline, caught by Hakeem Nicks inside the 45 to the 43 of the Oakland Raiders.
Boy, nice job that time of Carr throwing it and Hicks coming back shoulder on it. That was really well done. What an upside this guy has. And how smart does Tom Coughlin look, not making a play for a free agent wide receiver, losing Burris, losing Toomer, and instead of making a play for a big-time free agent, realizing we'll go with our youngsters, see if they grow into the job.
And he concedes it was definitely in the conversation. Jacobs left side, inside the 40.
You know, we talked about how young these receivers are. Take a look at this. They don't have a fifth-year player in the entire group. And they're getting all sorts of production from Nicks. That play he had last week against Kansas City, Manning's last pass of the game before he came out, was special. Manningham has really come along. Hickson. There's a huge upside to this group.
Both Eli Manning and Tom Coughlin told us, wait till we get a load of Ramses Barton at 6'6". That pass complete on the far side, and Nicks up the sideline and inside the 25.
Yeah, I asked Tom Coughlin if he was, came close to making a play, and he said, no, not really. We had some lines in the water, but we never came close to landing one. That's a pretty good description. We had a few lines in the water. There is no T uncrossed or any I undotted in the world of Tom Coughlin.
Jacobs still on his feet. Now to about the 22. You were talking earlier about how he just crumbles around the grandkids. That rough, tough Tom Coughlin. We saw a little bit of it yesterday when the grandchildren are around. Rough, tough Tom turns into melted butter around it.
He really does. Couldn't wait to show us a play that one of his grandsons drew up and was sitting right there on his desk. He shows it to us. What do you think I ought to call this one? I can tell you one thing. A lot of those players in Jacksonville, they'd have a hard time buying that. When Tom got that program going down there, he was one tough cookie.
2nd and 8. And this is Jacobs again, spinning off the tackle inside the 20 to about the 19. And we come up on 12:20 to play in the fourth.
And Brandon Jacobs getting some work. And Ahmad Bradshaw, who's over the 100-yard mark on the day, up 110 yards. He's got that ankle that's got to be rested during the week, and it's good that Jacobs is able to do some of the heavy lifting here and give Bradshaw a break.
What do you think, Dan? You think that Oakland Raider defense is one tired unit?
They haven't helped themselves that much, but they haven't gotten no help from the offense.
Carr under pressure, throws sideline incomplete. Pass intended for Hakeem Nicks on the near side.
But there's a good look at David Carr and that clock going off in the head of a quarterback. When you know that you've been back there long enough, he couldn't see the pressure coming from behind, and maybe he threw that before he wanted to, but he sensed something bad was about to happen. And that's an area where Jamarcus Russell has got to improve. We saw last week Mark Sanchez make that same mistake. A young quarterback is prone to do that.
Tynes from 37 yards out. And Tynes, who has missed a couple of gimmies the last few games, is 3 out of 3. Mickey Rourke, one of those still remaining here in the stadium.
He spent the game right next to us in the booth next door. Interesting life he's led.
Well put, Dick. Jonathan Holland from the 1. return this time out to about the 27 before he is upended by Jonathan Goff at their own 27-yard line. Jamarcus Russell with time throws over the middle, wide open to the tight end Zach Miller, and he's into Giant territory at the 43-yard line. And once again, way up above, the MetLife blimp providing today's aerial coverage. The blimp travels over 60,000 miles a year to cover sporting events and television specials throughout the United States. Nice pictures today.
And that might have been the best play of the day for the Raiders. Really good looking play action.
29-yard pickup. Here's Michael Bush looking left side, trying to turn the corner. Penalty marker is down, and he is out of bounds at about the 38 or 39-yard line.
Holding. Number 80 offense. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Zach Miller giveth and taketh away.
There was some question this week whether Zach Miller was going to play because of a concussion, but he got cleared to play late in the week. And again, it's all good when you're up 44-7. That's really 80% scoring on your drives for the Giants. It's pretty much unheard of.
Russell on the move, throws, and hits Zach Miller again close to the 40-yard line. That's a pretty good throw on the move.
That was a very good throw on the move. And again, it's just a it's just an indication of the kind of talent that lies inside Jamarcus Russell. He's really capable of, you know, if you saw that on a consistent basis, you'd say, wow, we've really got something here.
And they are not force feeding him the offense. Tom Cable made it clear what they're doing is trying to settle on X number of plays that he can deal with.
When you ask Tom Cable, he says, no, exactly the opposite. We're shrinking our offense.
He slips on the handoff there. Bush trying to make something of it. You can't. Matthias Kiwanuka capitalizing with the tackle.
Let's watch the footwork. Then he catches his right foot on the back of his center, Samson Satelli. Got to wonder if Russell didn't come out too shallow or if Satelli gave too much ground.
3rd and 11. Oh.
Well, you can't blame that on Jamarcus Russell. Wow. You let a defensive end come off the edge untouched.
My goodness. Mario Henderson never gave him a look.
Well, the whole line looked like it was sliding to the right. And I don't know if the faking back was supposed to come back across. Gary Russell looks like that was his intended target, but I don't know how you expect a back to move to his right and come back and block a defensive end on the left-hand side of the formation. That's impossible.
Leckler has to be getting a little tired kicking the ball. It'll bounce. Moss inside his 10 and is corralled right there. Gartrell Johnson is into the lineup for the New York Giants. Lost the handle there on the almost botched exchange between himself and David Carr.
Ooh, Tom Coughlin will not like this. You can see the Carr opened up, expecting Johnson to come out on the front side. Eli's not even bothering to check out the boys out there.
A little song. 2nd and 11. This time Johnson with the clean handoff. And Richard Seymour with the stop. Strange to see our friend Richard Seymour in a different uniform other than the Patriot uniform we've seen him in the last several years.
He was stunned. He was totally surprised. And what a culture shock. for Richard Seymour. It's Tommy Kelly, number 93. There's Richard, number 92, but he's not only going from one coast to another, but going from a franchise that expects to win double digits every year to a franchise that has really been struggling right now.
Carr on the move. Slides down at about the 20-yard line and has himself a first down.
David Carr showing that he can still motor. You know, that was one of the things when we talked to Eli about. He was wondering, am I healthy enough to actually run for a first down? Could I do what David Carr just did? I don't think we found that out in the little less than one half that Eli played.
Eli was able to make his 76th consecutive starting quarterback. It's a New York Giants record.
83 if you include playoffs.
Johnson, left side. Cuts inside a block. And a first down. That's a pretty good run for the rookie out of Colorado State.
Well, there's room for Johnson on this team with Derek Ward moving on. The Giants have long liked to have three capable guys carrying the football. There is Ahmad Bradshaw. Man, what a talented football player he is. 11 carries today, 110 yards. Do the math. Yes, that's 10 yards. That's 10 yards a crack. He's averaging 5.6 coming into the game.
Johnson again out to the 30, about the 34-yard line. Take a look at some numbers from around the league.
Yeah, we've been focusing on our game here. Big Ben with 3 touchdowns. He had an interception though.
Welcome back, Donovan McNabb.
Really, how nice is that?
Cedric Benson, 120-yard day.
Are you like me in the sense that I'm just really surprised how well the Bengals are playing? And there's Chad Ochocinco with 94 yards receiving.
David Carr throws, and that one is complete to Hakeem Nicks. And you know, you can't really fault Chris Johnson on that one. That was a terrific pitch and catch job.
Well, Chris Johnson, again, as we talked earlier, he gets so much work because nobody really goes after Asamoah. He tried to bat it away, just mistimed it a little bit. Great throw by Carr. Tom Cable says, look, I know he gambles, but I support him 100%. I have got his back. He can gamble all he wants, and I'm okay with it.
Nicks 4 catches for 49 yards on the day. Here's Gartrell Johnson again, and this time he's dragged down in the backfield by Jay Richardson. It is going to be a long flight back to the West Coast.
Well, and Greg, their schedule, just if this isn't, they go home, and in the next 2 weeks they're going to host the Eagles and then the Jets. They then go play San Diego, finally getting a week off, and then they've got the Chiefs, the only team they've beaten so far, and then right after that they go Cincinnati, Dallas, and Pittsburgh.
Carr, that one's complete to Derek Hagan. Once again, it's a doubleheader day here on CBS, and there's action still to come once we wind down here at Giant Stadium. New England, Denver, Houston, Arizona, Jacksonville, Seattle. And about 3 minutes and change to play.
Well, that New England Denver game, boy, does that has storylines. What a surprise the Denver Broncos are. They are really, the way they're playing defense in Denver, that's a surprise.
Tom Coughlin making sure Gartrell Johnson will sleep well tonight.
Well, that's what you do in a situation like this. Tom Coughlin telling Fiegels to use up as much time as you can on the punting situation. right now for the Giants. Let's finish this off, but finish it off and remain healthy.
You know what strikes me, Dan? We saw Sebastian Janikowski drill a field goal from 64 yards out in the pregame warm-up. He hasn't had a chance to tee one up during the game. Johnny Lee Higgins dancing, looking for running room, and is corralled back at the 13-yard line by Sonoris Moss. With the Giants on the verge of going 5-0, we take note of the fact that 5-0 starts have been good to the Giants in the past.
They got to the big game both times. Although in 1941, 5-0, that might have been half the season.
Marcus Russell going to finish out this game. That's Justin Fargas. Meanwhile, over on the sideline, Mickey Rourke, as we took note of down there on the side, with chatting up with Eli Manning. Then David Carr, how you doing?
Yeah, Eli's going, hey Mickey, you caught any of those commercials of mine? You know, I got some acting chops. I know what I'm doing.
I do stuff.
Yeah, I taught my older brother everything he knows about acting. Life's good to be the quarterback of the Giants.
And the Colts. Fargas to the 20. 75 seconds on the clock and counting. And there's Nnamdi Asomugha. Not thrown at very much, with good reason.
Well, an impressive player and an impressive guy to sit and talk to. Tom Cable and this Raider franchise, they've got
work to do.
Work to do.
3rd and 4. They're going to run for it with Fargas, and he's not going to get it. And once again, Shane Leckler will be called on to stretch out that right leg. Maybe.
Well, you get a good look at a franchise in the blue shirts that can control the offensive line of scrimmage with a dominant offensive line. And on the other side, you see a team that can't because of all their injury issues with their offensive line. And look how it has just a trickle-down effect all the way through their offense.
I don't believe they have to snap the football, Dan.
That's a good thing.
They're going to let this clock run out, and the Raiders are going to go home with no more damage than a 44-7 loss and a record falling to 1-4. It's all over. Our final score, the Giants 44 and Oakland 7.